Hi, my name is Shelby Morrow, and the title of my senior project is Work-Life Balance, Promoting Job Satisfaction and Productivity of Employed Mothers in the Workplace. First section is my abstract. It says 70% of mothers with children under 18 participate in the labor force, with over 75% employed full-time. Mothers are the primary sole earners for 40% of households with children under 18 today, compared with 11% in 1960. Working mothers are very much the norm in today's society, and all working mothers are constantly struggling with work-life balance. Despite the progress of gender equality in the workplace, women are still fearing for the quality of their jobs when it comes to balancing their family and work. Women want to be able to be successful in raising their children and attending to their family's needs at home while also being successful as possible at their workplace job. What could be some of the best possible accommodations for mothers in the workplace to promote job satisfaction and productivity, as well as creating a positive work-life balance? What can employers do to stand behind these working mothers to create security and promote work productivity? Using the human sciences discipline and human resource management discipline to approach and research this complex problem, I believe there are some possible accommodations that workplaces can provide to promote job satisfaction and productivity for working mothers, while also ensuring that the workplace will affect working mothers' home life as little as possible. These accommodations include offering as much paid maternity leave as possible, ensuring your organization has family-friendly values, respect employees' time outside of work, the ability to provide flexible work arrangements, and provide a clean and private place to accommodate breastfeeding mothers. By providing these accommodations, job satisfaction of working mothers will not only increase, but you will also be able to ensure and even possibly increase work productivity from this employee base. This next section is my introduction. Work-life balance is the term used to describe the balance that an individual needs in between time allocated for work and other aspects of life. Areas of life other than work life can be, but not limited to, personal interests, family and social or leisure activities. This paper is focused on the work-life balance mothers in today's workplace are constantly struggling with. Today's women are highly educated and have more labor market equality than previous generations. Women are now even entering the workforce with equal wages and employment rates to their counterparts. Despite all this progression and gender equality in the workplace, women are still fearing for the quality of their jobs when it comes to balancing their work and family lives. There has been an increase of numbers in women and members of dual earner households. We see a lot of dual earner households that also have dependent children. Many families find themselves struggling to deal with serious time bind between the demands of jobs and families. Women want to be able to be successful in raising their children and attending to their family's needs at home while also being as successful as possible at their workplace job. Women shouldn't have to fear for their job or feel like they are not capable of successfully doing both jobs. My interdisciplinary topic for the senior thesis project is what could be some of the best possible accommodations for mothers in the workplace to promote job satisfaction and productivity, as well as creating a positive work-life balance. Working mothers want to feel they are putting adequate time into both their unpaid job at home and paid job in the workplace. What can employers do to stand behind these working mothers to create security and promote work productivity? I will use the human sciences discipline and human resource management discipline to approach my chosen topic. Human sciences studies the philosophical, biological, social, and cultural aspects of human life. Human sciences aims to expand our understanding of the human world through a broad interdisciplinary approach. Human resource management is defined as the process of managing employees in a company, and it can involve hiring, firing, training, and motivating employees. Human resource management also focuses on the needs of their employees and what they can do to promote employee retention, satisfaction, and work productivity. Using a combination of these two disciplines, I believe I will be able to find the appropriate research to answer this interdisciplinary topic. The current problem at hand is considered a complex problem. The operational definition of complexity used in this book is that the problem has multiple parts studied by different disciplines. A problem is considered acceptable for interdisciplinary research if no single discipline has been able to explain or resolve the problem. In this interdisciplinary topic, I believe no single discipline can be used to solve this problem. The discipline of human resources management will help us target the type of accommodations that might promote job satisfaction and job productivity in the workplace. One of the main jobs of human resource management is to manage and motivate employees. This discipline involves keeping employees happy while also encouraging work productivity. I think the discipline of human sciences is also needed for this complex problem to understand on a deeper level the type of employee a working mom is. What are the deeper problems they face at work and at home? What are their emotional and physical needs? What is the meaning of work-life balance to them? Human resource management can only dive so far into this. I believe human sciences can use its multiple subdisciplines to explore different aspects of the human life and better understand the human world. In this case, we want to explore the different aspects of a working mother and better understand the needs of work and home. These two disciplines could combine to effectively give some answers to this complex problem. Okay, the next section is my literature review. Here it is. The term discipline in the context of interdisciplinary research encompasses subdisciplines, schools of thought and interdisciplinary fields. What they all have in common is that each is characterized by its own perspective and worldview. The potentially relevant disciplines for this study include human resources and human sciences. Okay. The next 3 articles discussed are all involved with the human resource management discipline. In an article titled Coverage and Effectiveness of Family and Responsive Workplace Policies, researchers have documented that there has been an increase of numbers in women and members of dual earner households in today's workforce. Today we see a lot of dual earner households that also have dependent children. Many families find themselves struggling to deal with a serious time bind between the demands of jobs and families. Businesses are now finding themselves trying to do their best to apply differing forms of workplace accommodations to attract and retain highly skilled workers with increasingly diverse personal needs. Companies that might have once ignored the complaints of employed parents years ago are now competing to get their names on the working mother list of the 100 best companies. This article reviews and tells us what is and what is not known about family responsive employment practices. The article is divided into 3 sections. Section 1 covers the market-based model for accommodating employee family responsibilities. The second part touches on literature over new employment practices and their effectiveness in producing organizational productivity. And the last section of the article focuses on providing framework for future evaluation research. Altogether, findings in this article are able to show us, though inconclusive, that family responsive policies in the areas of flexible scheduling, employer assistance with childcare, and parental leave positively impacts both business and employee outcomes. In the next article titled Work-Life Balance Practices, Strategies to Improve Performance of Working Women, the author notes that today we are seeing increasing numbers in dual career couples and a decrease in the support of joint family. Both genders are finding it difficult to manage both personal and professional lives. Women in the professional world are struggling every day to meet the demands of their family and society while also fulfilling demands of the workplace. This journal article is a review about the importance of work-life balance practices in changing work scenarios and also highlights the impact of work-life balance on the performance of working women. Balancing family and work life for working women causes extreme exhaustion and stress, which ultimately affects their health and performance both at work and at home, taking care of their families. Work-life balance practices are not only preferred of employees but also becoming a need of employers. Implementing work-life balance practices increases job satisfaction, retention, increased performance of working women, and increased performance of working women. In the article titled The Role of Work-Life Balance Practices in Order to Improve Organizational Performance, The authors state that work-life balance is known as the quality of relationship between paid work and unpaid responsibilities. The importance of work and home responsibilities have showed increased relevance in the recent years. The issue of work-life balance has been made known due to demographic, economic, and cultural and workplace changes. Changes such as greater numbers of women in the workforce, transformation in family structures, and a growing reluctance to accept the longer hours culture. The rise of the 24/7 society and technological advancements have all impacted the issue of work-life balance. In recent years, work-life balance has replaced the original term of work-family balance. This change has implemented from the recognition that work-life balance initiates and practices be considered as a strategic human resource management decision. And can these initiatives and practices be transformed into improved and individual and organizational performance? The purpose of this article is to uncover answers to these two questions. This article proposes several guidelines in order to improve one's understanding, choice, implementation, and effectiveness of work-life balance initiatives and practices. Okay, this is still my literature review, and the next part is over the human sciences discipline. The next three articles in my literature review are within the discipline of human sciences and the current complex problem. In the article titled Unbinding Time, Alternate Work Schedules and Work-Life Balance, the author explains that a time bind occurs when work and family/personal obligations are perceived to be out of balance due to lack in time to meet both. This term was coined to describe a number of situations in which workers prefer dividing their time between work and family in a manner different from the way it is currently divided, but are unable to find it difficult to do so. This journal article examines the possibility that alternate work schedules affect perceived work-life imbalance, aka the time bind. Family life and the workplace require simultaneous time and energy demands, and both are to be considered as greedy institutions. Alternate schedules do not seem to dismiss this time bind, yet perceived control of work schedules increases work-life balance net of family and work characteristics. In this study, the dependent variable is perceived work-life balance, while the independent variables are work schedules. Two items are used to assess work-life balance, one being the extent to which workers feel successful in balancing work and family or personal life, and two being the amount of conflict they face in balancing work and family or personal life. For the independent variables, there were 5 dummy variables designed to categorize work shift schedules. Schedule control, personal and family characteristics, and work characteristics all played a role in perceiving control of work-life balance. This article answers several recurring questions they attempt to uncover that are all behind the main idea of unbinding time. In the article titled Live to Work or Work to Live, a quality study of gender and work-life balance among men and women in midlife, the article navigates the ways in which both genders in midlife negotiate the intersections between paid work and other areas of life. Studies of work-life balance either ignore gender or take it for granted. This article constructed interviews with both genders in midlife in order to compare their experience of work-life balance. Gender played a big role in how participants responded to the constant balance of home and work life. This article suggests ways in which gender-neutral theories of work-life balance may be extended. Most researchers on work-life balance focuses on the experiences of mothers of young children. Further research shows that lack of work-life balance is a problem for men as well as women, and for the parents of older as well as preschool children. Despite similarities in current family and workplace circumstances of these men and women, the article's data suggests that gender remains interwoven in the business of negotiating home and work life. While the article reports having participants' own accounts of work-life balance, it is important to keep in mind that their individual choices reflected their socioeconomic resources and cultural norms about family, work, and gender. It is also suggested that balance may be an unachievable goal because it is built on individualistic, achievement-oriented model that assumes that people have choice and control over their lives. And the next article, Work-Life Initiatives and Organizational Change, Overcoming Mixed Messages to Move from the Margin to the Mainstream. The author examines that while work-life initiatives serve a purpose in highlighting the need for organizational adaptation to changing relationships between work, family, and personal life, this article argues that they usually are marginalized rather than mainstreamed into organizational systems. This article examines perspectives on employer work-life initiatives as potential organizational change phenomena. These work-life initiatives the article is addressing includes two main organizational challenges, structural and cultural factors. While these initiatives may enable employees to manage work and caregiving, they can also in turn increase work intensification and perpetuate stereotypes of ideal workers. The article believes organizations need to frame both structural and cultural work-life changes as part of the core employment systems to enhance organizational effectiveness, and not just as strategies to support disadvantaged, non-ideal workers. My next section is the interdisciplinary research section. Adequacy is an understanding of each relevant discipline's cognitive map sufficient to identify its perspective on the problem, epistemology, assumptions, concepts, theories, and methods in order to understand its insights concerning the problem. Work-life balance is the term used to describe the balance that an individual needs between time allocated for work and other aspects of life. Areas of life other than work life can be, but not limited to, personal interests, family, and social or leisure activities. Work-life balance for my paper focuses on the two domains of work and home and family. There are differing things that could take the place of the life domain and work-life balance, but home/family are the focus for this research paper. The concept of work-life balance relies on a multiplicity of theoretical frameworks. No single prevailing framework or perspective is universally established. Some of these theoretical frameworks include spillover, compensation, resource drain, enrichment, congruence, work-family conflict, segmentation, facilitation, integration, and ecology theories. Spillover is a process whereby experiences in one role affects experiences in another, rendering the roles more alike. Mood, values, skills, and behaviors can all be involved in the concept of spillover from one role to another. When examining mood-related spillover in working parents, findings suggest that they are more likely to bring work-related emotions home than they were to transfer family-related emotions to the workplace. This highlights the importance of employee satisfaction and happiness in the workplace. The compensation theory refers to the efforts intended at countering negative experiences in one domain through increased efforts for positive experiences in another domain. In this case, the two domains would be the workplace and home. According to compensation theory, there is an opposite relationship between work and life, so workers attempt to satisfy voids from one domain with satisfactions from the other. As an example, women who experienced negative effect from family were more engaged with their work. Now, the resource drain theory refers to the transfer of sources from one domain to another. Because resources are limited, available resources in the original domain are reduced. The next theory basically insinuates that good work outcomes lead us to good life outcomes and vice versa. The enrichment theory refers to the degree to which experiences form instrumental sources or effective sources. It improves the quality of the other domain. The congruence theory brings in a third variable that isn't directly related to work or family life. This additional variable supposedly helps influence the balance of multiple roles. A third variable could be anything such as personality traits, behavior styles, genetic forces, and sociocultural forces. Based on congruence theory, a third variable such as intelligence or a level of education could positively affect both work and life domains. The facilitation theory refers to what occurs when the participation in one domain cultivate and enhances the engagement in another domain. Integration theory refers to the holistic view that a healthy system of flexible and permeable boundaries can better facilitate and encourage work life and community life domains. Then we have the ecological systems theory, which refers to the suggestions that work and life are a joint function of process, person, context, time, characteristics, and symptomatic to the fact that each and multiple characteristics yield an additive effect on the work-life experience. Work-family conflict refers to the experience of conflict between work and life domain. It is known that work can certainly affect life, but life can indefinitely affect work as well. Two types of work-family conflict have been identified. One is work interfering with family, and the second being family interfering with work. An example of work interfering with family conflict is bringing work home and trying to complete it at the expense of family time. An example of family interfering with work conflict might be having to reschedule or cancel a meeting because your child suddenly came down with something. Research suggests that the experience of work interference with family was reported almost 3 times more frequently than the experience of family interference with work conflict. Work-family conflict can be classified into 3 types, and all 3 types are considered to be bidirectional, meaning can be applied to work interfering with family and family interfering with work. These 3 classifications include conflict based on time, conflict based on stress, and finally, conflict based on behavior. Each one of these theories and ideas can be somehow related to both disciplines being used in this paper, human resource management and human sciences. Both are incorporated in the ideas and can draw insight from each individual discipline. These theories and ideas can also help understand more of what is further incorporated in the complex problem. Regardless, all theories and concepts seems to point out that the underlying problem is most affected by the workplace needing to properly accommodate working mothers so they can effectively balance work and family life without having to feel the pressure of withholding from their family in order to show positive work productivity at their job in the workplace. This last section is my conclusion. The integration of concepts, assumptions, or theories is a means to the end of integrating insights into a more comprehensive understanding. I believe I was able to properly integrate concepts, assumptions, and theories of both disciplines of human resource management and human sciences. As I stated in the beginning, my interdisciplinary topic for the senior thesis project is what could be some of the best possible accommodations for mothers in the workplace to promote job satisfaction and productivity, as well as creating a positive work-life balance. Work-life balance is a term used to describe the balance that an individual needs in between time allocated for work and other aspects of life. Areas of life other than work life can be, but not limited to, personal interests, family, and social or leisure activities. I believe after conducting research over this complex problem and attempting to understand all aspects of it using my 2 disciplines, there are some possible accommodations that workplaces can provide to promote job satisfaction and productivity for working mothers while ensuring that the workplace will affect working mothers' home life as little as possible. These accommodations include offering as much paid maternity leave as possible, ensuring your organization has family-friendly values, respect employees' time outside of work, the ability to provide flexible work arrangements, and provide a clean and private place to accommodate breastfeeding mothers. Data shows that women report higher job satisfaction when they take longer maternity leave, and the longer the paid maternity leave, the happier they are at the employer. When women get a longer paid maternity leave and that opportunity to spend with their new baby, the less guilt they feel about the time they were unable to spend with their new baby and having to leave them with alternative childcare. Women bringing that guilt and extra emotions to work could ultimately affect their work productivity. Working mothers, along with any working parent, pay notice and care a lot about an organization's family-friendly values. Organizations need to be able to be empathetic and understanding that family is important and unexpected things can happen when you have children. A job that allows their employee to provide for their family financially while also not holding something such as having to leave work for a sick child is very effective in promoting satisfaction and positive productivity. Respecting an employee's time outside of work is also very important. For working mothers, job satisfaction is directly related to whether working moms think companies respect their personal time outside of the office. No pressure to work longer hours on a regular basis is important, and using all your vacation / paid time off as needed should be viewed as perfectly acceptable. Providing flexible work arrangements for working mothers could improve their work productivity as well as satisfaction with their employer. For parents and new ones in particular, I see this as being one of the most important accommodations. Work from home arrangements, flex time, and reduced hours can really help accommodate outside responsibilities while still being able to get workplace work done and continue to show productivity. Finally, when new mothers return back to work from maternity leave, they don't want to feel workplace pressures of having to discontinue their breastfeeding journey. Having to stop breastfeeding because your work doesn't support it or provide a clean and safe environment for you to privately pump can cause some resentment and alternative feelings towards your job. Almost half of working moms surveyed say that their lactation facilities are inadequate, and another quarter report their managers don't accommodate their schedule to permit pumping. Being a working mom is not easy, and in several cases, being a stay-at-home mom is not even an option. Regardless, it is important to accommodate all working mothers in and out of the workplace. In return, by doing so, you'll be able to ensure and even possibly increase work productivity from this employee base. Working moms are an important asset to any company. In fact, research suggests that mothers are generally more productive than childless women. Using both disciplines of human resource management and human sciences, I believe I was able to effectively research this complex problem and provide some solutions to improve it. And that is the end of my senior project. And thank y'all for listening. And I hope y'all enjoyed it. Thanks.